Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LE 140 class. Our lesson for today is about lesson 9, personal viewpoint on writing columns. So, the reporters are me, Marinjane Arsabihan, and Hermie Saranilna. So, let us know what is column. So, what is column? Does anyone from the class know what is column? So, a column is not a news article, but it is news. It generally answers why and how. It often personal, using the first and second person, I and you. So a column often states an opinion. It is said to be like writing an open letter. It also has a standard head called a title and byline, the name at the top. This identifies you and your column for the reader. So another definition for better understanding, columns are the most personal of all newspaper writing. They have a very personal appeal and authoritative influence and very useful information to make in spreading news and opinions. So they are written to inform, to influence, or to entertain readers. It also is it is also high in reader interest, for they stimulate public discussion of the day's affairs. So what is its purpose? So the main purpose of the column is to inform, to interpret, and to a large degree to visualize. So another purpose is to explain the news. So the columnist has to explain the significance and consequence by giving the background of an event, determining whether a certain event is an isolated case or part of the pattern. Next is pointing out how the event will affect or not affect his readers. Next, pulling together and assessing comments of readers from different segments of society. And lastly, to entertain the readers. So, I have here pictures of the articles. It is either an article of a straight news or a feature story or a column. So many writers prefer to write columns rather than straight news or feature. It is because um, straight news is deemed to be boring, covering news conference, reporting who said what, um, who said that line, while feature stories involves too much reporting and require discipline to follow a set structure. While columns are essentially opinion pieces and much freer, therefore it seems easier because it is freer. But no, column writing is the hardest type of writing because column writing requires a good thinking. Anybody can be trained to write straight news because it is very mechanical, while future articles is somewhat formulaic, and also it is hard because it requires good writing. But column writing is much more harder because, again, it requires good thinking. So next we have the sources of materials where we can find columns. We have current news, observations, interviews, commendable projects, people researches, and investigation. Next, we have forms of writing. Forms of writing used in columns. So the columnist is free to use any form of writing. He may use the essay or the story form, or on certain occasions, he may even use verse. Next, we have the general style of the column. So there are 5 general styles employed in column writing. It now depends on the columnist to choose and select the style of a column according to his aptitude, personality, and attitude in close consonance with the type of his column. So the selection of an appropriate style also depends on the nature of material a columnist desires to employ. So first we have the unified style. So when a column is desired to be composed and written on a simple subject throughout, a columnist is said to have utilized the unified style. So as per unified style, such column is in fact an essay formally or informally in order to attune his topic and approach. So a unified style is generally used by the political columnist and even the sports columnist. So these columnists use the unified style to discuss a single subject on each day. It is also useful for those who enter a single idea columns. So unified style are used usually by the political columnist. So it this style is used to discuss only a single subject on each day. For the second column, and the second um, general style is the anecdotal style. So, in this style, a number of unrelated stories and a variety of observations are gathered in a single column. So, these unrelated stories and varied observations, however, could bear no similarities and have no bearing on each other. So by anecdotal style, a columnist is able to include several subjects ranging from 6 to 10 anecdotes or observations in a single column. However, he separates them from each other by asterisks or by other typographical devices. So we have to remember that anecdotal style is is a style that is able to cater or include several subjects from 6 to 10 anecdotes in a single column. However, the columnists separate each other by using asterisks or any other typographical devices. So next style is the departmental style. So when a columnist has arranged and managed such material, which can be easily divided and separated into different departments, it is known as a department style. So this style greatly assists in earning each and every department interest absorbing one, easy to understand and handle. So it is most effective for random observation, little known information, and provocative bits of news of general interest, which all collectively make the columns most popular and generally practiced. So the departmental columns may be given such names as in the mailbag, lest we forget, things to remember, and passing parade. Besides, the departments may be separated by asterisks or any other typographical devices. So the similarities of departmental style and anecdotal style is that it is separated by using asterisks or any other typographical devices. So the difference of departmental style to anecdotal style is that um, this style greatly assists in earning each and every department interest absorbing one. Also, it is most effective for random observation. So next style is the unrelated fact style. So under this style of column writing, a columnist presents a mass of facts which have little or more bearing on each other. So, in view of the diversity of material, this style serves the best purposes by arranging and presenting the facts without any apparent order. So in order to make distinction among several unrelated facts, the columnist simply separates them with one or more periods. It is somewhat a pause, which depends on the arrangement of the facts. A columnist usually illustrates and presents the interest by variety, surprise, or by any other device. So this style of column caters mass of facts, and also it serves the best purpose by arranging and presenting the facts without any other order. Um, so this style, um, so this style presents a mass of facts, but also it, the information is arranged by using one or more periods. Unlike the departmental style and anecdotal style, the unrelated fact style uses only one or more periods. So, lastly, we have the question and answer style. So, a columnist gives a question and then answers it. By this style, a columnist makes the columns easy to understand and intelligibly present to the general readers. So this style of writing a column gives ample opportunities to the columnist to raise questions of national and paramount importance, and then answers them in easy and understandable style and language. In this way, a good columnist paves the way for instruction, teaching, and improving international values and standards of the general masses in an effective way. So, to write a good column, it requires more than just to articulate opinions. Um, so, your opinions must make sense, provide insight, and be convincing. Also, you must do it in an entertaining way. So, this factor also proves why is column writing difficult than other writing, because it is not just about your opinions, but it, your opinions must make sense and be convincing. Also, you should do it in an entertaining way. So, to write a good column, it requires you also to be almost like a lawyer. Why? Because through your arguments, you will try to convince the jury. If you're a lawyer, you try to convince your jury. But if you're a columnist, you try to convince your readers that your client or your viewpoint is right. So shaping a powerful argument takes practice and requires both breadth and depth of knowing well as the ability both breadth and depth of knowledge as well as the ability to critically analyze a particular issue. So we have here a question. So is there a methodology for training someone to become a good thinker? Anybody from the class? Do you know someone or do you have an idea? Is there a methodology for training someone to become a good thinker? No. No one is sure about that, but it helps you when you are well read, inquisitive, and willing to listen to various viewpoints. So, someone said, a writer once said that if you are someone who likes to write but does not want to do research or think deeply about an issue, forget about writing. So, so to be able to write a good column, you should also study role models, follow the work of several columnists, because following the work of several established columnists and analyze their writings to discover how they project their arguments and how they make effective use of anecdotes, quotes, and statistics. So from there, you can learn the tricks of the trade and eventually develop your own distinctive voice and style. So to, to become an columnist, you need to um, do research on the several established columnists so that you will be able to know their own tactics, how they present their arguments so that you can learn from them and be able to discover your own voice in writing. So there, we have here, we have here, Filipino columnists. We have Ernesto Abella, Paulo Abrera, Butch Anson-Roa, and Erico Aumentado. So all of writing is different, is very different from other forms of writing because unlike straight news and feature writing, columns have dedicated readerships. So a columnist develops a following because his or her readers feel they gain knowledge, insight, and entertainment from reading his or her writing. So it is a great honor to be given a regular column. However, always remember that you have to do it well. So for you to do it well, it requires a great amount of dedication to the craft. So lastly, be ready for criticism. Because if you unleash it out, you have got to be able um, to take as good as you got. Because when you take a strong stance on anything, there is bound to be someone offended by what you write. And they will write to you often in less than a polite language to let you know exactly what they think of you and your opinions. So it goes with the territory. So also, to be a columnist, it requires you to be ready for criticism because there will always be some writers that will not agree on your stand, and with that they will write to you in less than a polite language to let you know that to let you know their perception of your point and of you personally. So next we have now the types of column. So first is the editorial column or news commentary. So it comments or interprets timely subjects. Other columnists writing Other columnists writing this sometimes make use of short paragraphs on several topics. It may treat one subject per issue. So the sources are current news, observation, interview, commendable identities or accomplishments, and investigation. So next we have the variety or humor column. So this is an entertainment feature made of short items such as philosophical comments, a play on names, local humor, parodies, and oaths of unintentional blunders like thrusts at school happening, puns, jokes, and light verse. Generally, variety or humor column, it must be funny, clean, in good taste, pertaining to school life and original. So we have here an example. One student, um, yeah, this is an example. So next, we have personals or chatter column. So it is all about a well-known person. All materials should be true, and all suggestions are complimentary. Next, next we have we have hodgepodge column. So these columns of various topics that are separated by mustache-like asterisks ensure that topics included are relevant and timely to the readers. So this type of column has various topics that are separated using asterisks. So next we have another example. So next is the opinion column. So it concerns about the reader's views and may take some form of the poll or inquiring reporter and the letter to the editor. So we have here another sample, another example again for opinion column. The next is exchange column. So this type of column is the collection of items fueled by the exchange editors from papers of other schools. So exchange column is the collection of papers that come from the exchange editors from other schools. So topics may be mix of interesting news or they may contain suggestions from the students of the writer's own school. So comments may or may not be added. So lastly, we have the book column. So this column consists of several short reviews which help the reader find titles for book reports. This review is limited only to 50 words. It includes the title, the author, the general idea of the content, a brief comment on its possible use for the reader. More detailed review contains some information about the author, but always remember that this column um, has limited only to 50 words. So, for further source of information on types of column, the links are provided. So, so for the tips in writing a column, we have Hermison and Saranillo for the detailed discussion. So that is all for my part. I am Mary Jane Arsabihan. Thank you for listening.
Hello, good morning once again. I am her Miss Renelio. This is the continuation of the report of Miss Mary Jane Sabihon. So I'll be discussing the tips in writing a column. So there are 10 tips in writing a column. So the first one is write with conviction. 2, maintain your focus. 3rd, understood opposing viewpoints. 4th, refer to facts. 5th, use analogies. 6th, be critical. 7th, do reporting. 8th, localize and personalize. 9, be passionate. And 10, provide a solution. So, in the first steps in writing a column is write with conviction. Put forward your opinion as something you truly believed in. Argue your case with conviction. Come down hard on one side of an issue. Be unequivocal, never ever set on the fence. By writing with conviction, you may opt to use the techniques of persuasion discussed in the previous chapter. So in the write with conviction, conviction is important in writing column article because it's what your readers take your side or what makes your reader take your side. So mao ni ato ang gitawag nga paninindigan or your stance. paninindigan which side you are on, whichever side you are defending. Doing column writing will be in the both sides of the issue. You must remain visible on your side throughout the article you will write so that the readers are not confused about what you truly support, and it will be easy for you to persuade them to take your side. Second, maintain your focus. Make your column about one thing and one thing alone. Do not intersperse the message with another topic. It makes the column convoluted. When such happens, your column will be difficult to understand. Maintain your focus. That is the only way to make a strong impression on your readers and to convince them that your point of view is correct. That is sometimes a problem for student columnists because they have much to say, so much to point out, and are really obsessed with that topic. So the article contains a lot of information, and the tendency, the idea clashes, causing readers to get confused because you are already off track and the issue that you should only address. So keep your focus and try to keep your article at the angle to avoid confusion. The third one is understand opposing viewpoints. Be mindful of the opposing argument, anticipate objections to your point of view, and deal with them convincingly with sound reasoning. If you are not familiar with the opposing view, you will not be able to argue your points well. So, we should be mindful of the both sides, or be mindful of the two sides of an argument. Even if you are really furious with that about the topic and simply want to support one side, you should always consider the opposing side as well. For example, the presidency of Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos is becoming controversial, and the editorial writers, especially those who are anti-Marcos, are becoming more furious. Some people oppose President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos being president because of our historical past, while others support him. But just like what I've said, always be mindful of the both sides. Even though you have a strong view, you are not blind to the opposite side of the issue. 4. Refer to facts. Your arguments, however logical, will not carry much weight unless they are accompanied by facts that support your position. Do not overdo this and inundate your readers with statistics and figures. However, do make use of facts from reputable sources. So always base your arguments and facts. As a result, columnists usually fail because they are already swept away by the flow of their emotions. When expressing their ideas, the facts are fading and being replaced by their values. It's because nadala na sila sa bugso ng damdamin. Instead of writing facts, ito ay nahahaluan ng personal opinion nila. So as a result, this article becomes weak because it is not supported by the facts. Because the writers are just basing it on their opinion, diba? So always remember these, just like an editorial writing, always support your argument with pieces of evidence and fact, because that's what strengthens the side or stand of the issue that you are pushing. Fifth, use analogies. Analogies are useful for illustrating a point, especially when the topic you're writing about is somewhat complicated or technical. Using a simple analogy from everyday life makes the issue more understandable and relevant to reader. Analogy is the analysis and comparison of two things that are same, similar, equivalent, or have comparable properties. So it is also important for us to use analogies because an issue has concepts or ideas that are difficult to express, because it is complicated and critical, but through analogies we can make it superficial so that the readers can comprehend it by utilizing analogies. And it is also preferable to make analogies based on our daily lives or events so that our readers can truly grasp them. So 6, be critical. People like reading columnists who dare to criticize real-life people, not just nameless concepts and policies. Naming names might create a bit of controversy, but as long as you do not libel anyone and don't go overboard in your criticisms, it works well to make your column an interesting and exciting read. So the critical issue here is the fact-based judgment. We know that readers enjoy reading article columns because they want to read an article in which the writer criticizes a certain person, event, or situation. So while writing a column, you can't be disheartened and you can't be afraid to criticize the event or the person in a non-libelous manner, because what you say has a basis and facts. Because that is what the column article was all about. The more reasonable and critical you write, and the more readers would enjoy it. It is because criticizing is about highlighting your argument and convincing your readers to take your side in a harsh but not libelous way. So 7, do reporting. It is possible to write column without doing any reporting, but the best columns typically involve some form of reporting. When you report, you get on the ground and you gain a better sense of what is really happening. 8, localize and personalize. Localize your story whenever possible. Also tie it to some personal experience, yours or that of someone you know. It makes an otherwise esoteric and distant topic more real, relevant, and memorable to the reader. So it is also very important in the column, since it will emphasize your argument because it is based on your experience, which is also allowed in the column writing but not in editorial writing, because editorial writing is we approach, and a column writing is really your experience or your personal thoughts. If there is a mass issue, you can relate it to what your experience, so it will emphasize your points while also persuading your reader. So 9, be passionate. Generally, people do not like to hear a soft or passive voice when they read the column. So be aggressive, even arrogant. So to an extent, people want to see passion. They want to feel energized. If the issue does not seem to excite you as a writer, it is certainly not going to excite the reader. Passionate in the sense that you know what you're doing and what you're writing for. As in column writing, your goal is to persuade. Readers do not read column articles because the author is softy, who cannot criticize an issue or a person. Of course, readers actually read column to see how to discuss, um, an issue or a person in a forceful manner. That is the aim of a column writer. So if you're a columnist, be passionate about what you're doing and know your purpose, goals, and try to make your goal happen, which is for the reader of your article to be on your side. Excuse me. 10. Provide a solution. Do not just raise an issue. Have the conviction to suggest a solution. Columns that criticize certain policies but offer no solutions are useless. People read columns because they want to gain insight and answers. If you do not provide those, you have failed as a columnist. Provide as much as solution as possible, so that your article does not appear to be just based on your thoughts. However, extra facts may help and underline your argument even more, as well as persuade your readers, since they knew what you're talking about and aren't simply expressing speculation of your own opinion. Develop a structure and keep it. Try on a regular schedule. Third one is write simple and short sentences and paragraphs. We don't have to go around or twist as we do with editorial writing. It is important for a columnist to know what he wants to say, and since if we moved about, our readers will become confused and will be unable to grasp what you truly want to articulate or to express. For impersonal columns, use local names and places. 5. Let others speak for you by use of quotes and references. So quotations might help you show that you are not the only one who agrees with the stance you take. However, there are others who support you with their views. Ensure that the quotations you use are from prominent people, influencers, so that when your reader reads it, they will know that the words you use are credible. 6. Learn the difference between a column and a news story. So let's go to the dose of when you're writing a column. 1 is do not use technical or complex words. As with editorial writing, it is not advised to use profound and flowery phrases. Instead, always talk in the language of the people, using words that any reader, young or old, can understand. Second, do not talk in jargon or unfamiliar terms. We should never use language that only we understand or phrases that even the majority of others do not comprehend. Be cautious of using informal terms because they are not always appropriate, and keep in mind that we are informal writing. Thus, formal words should still be utilized. 3. Include too much data. Do not include too much data or material. You should be stimulating interest, not exhausting a subject. So even if we have a lot to say, we must keep our paragraphs and the sentences short and simple. Even if your article is short, it must be informative, bold, and compelling to readers. And the lastly is refer to yourself as a third person. This author, a reporter, or quote yourself. Jimmy Jones said, instead use mine. Now we are done with the do's and don'ts of writing a column. So there are also some more tips of column. So, number 1, write the way you talk, but do not discard good English usage and grammar by being friendly and informal. 2, try to uncover the opening that will catch the interest of your readers. 3, use variety of material, not just one subject. 4, write about people. Keep heavy subject matter to a minimum. When using a subject matter, try to tell the story through the experiences of local people. 5th, write simply, avoid technical or difficult words, long sentences, long paragraphs. 6, do not weigh your column down with too much data. Try to stimulate interest in the subject but do not exhaust the subject. 7, be timely. Keep up the effect of weather conditions, seasons, etc., pointing out the significance of these conditions locally. 8, remember the people you are talking to and give them information that will benefit them in a way they can understand. 9, get a clever name for the column. 10, if the column is meant to entertain, be sure that it does entertain paper's typical readers. 11, stay within the subject range of the column. Make moist items short, separated by typographical devices like long dashes, asterisk, mustache. 13, if the column gives serious suggestions, be sure it is reliable. 14, for a variety, deal with different aspects of the main topic. 15, have items set in various typographical styles such as italics, bold type, different points, caps, and short clever heads. And 16, avoid unkind references to people. So now let's have a quick review of the sample columns. So this is for today's lesson. I hope you learned something from this lesson, and um, I hope that you jotting down notes, since we will be giving you a short quiz after this class. And thank you for listening. I hope everyone is doing well. If you have any question, please leave in the comment section. And I hope wala. Charot. So that's all. Thank you and God bless us all.